Week 11 of the 2024 NFL season taught us the following 32 things. 1. As Sunday demonstrates, the league should sponsor at least one formal rivalry weekend each season. Key games involving opponents, who are all too acquainted with one another, produce several significant results. 2. The Kansas City Chiefs vs. Buffalo Bills game is the most important one of the regular season thus far. The Bills delivered the Chiefs their first defeat of the 2024 season. The Bills are now a half game behind KC in the AFC rankings, making them genuine contenders for home field advantage. 3. We may also finish the traditional celebration of the Miami Dolphins' perfect record from 1972, even if it is tragic that Mercury Morris, who passed away lately, is no longer a part of it. 4. With only 2 minutes remaining, quarterback Josh Allen's spectacular 26-yard touchdown run sealed Buffalo's win. Allen's performance, with a club that seemed deficient in the summer, should put him in the running for his first MVP title, even if his final numbers were not as flashy as those of his Baltimore Ravens rival Lamar Jackson. 5. The Bills have won all 4 of their regular season games against the Chiefs in their previous 7 encounters, but have lost all 3 of their postseason games. 6. Given how fierce and competitive the Ravens and Pittsburgh Steelers are, and how tense things became on Sunday afternoon at Acrisure Stadium, may their kickers make the difference between them in 2024. Considering that Chris Boswell of Pittsburgh has a clear advantage, Boswell made 3 field goals from 50 yards or more, including one from 57 yards, and all of Pittsburgh's points in Sunday's 18-16 victory. In what is turning out to be the probable Hall of Famer's worst season, Justin Tucker of Baltimore dropped passes from 47 and 50 yards, thus losing his side the victory. 7. Boswell, meanwhile, has now made 29 of his 30 field goal attempts in 2024, including all 20 within the 50-yard line. Yes, he's 9 out of 10 beyond. For the second time this season, he recorded a 6-pack for all of Pittsburgh's Iron City points on Sunday, and he has at least 4 field goals in 4 games. 8. By the way, wasn't quarterback Russell Wilson meant to address the Steelers' red zone problems? Pittsburgh is 3-4-12 in its last 3 games, and went 0 for 4 on Sunday against the weakest pass defense in the league. Wilson ended the NFL's longest active touchdown pass streak, which had lasted 22 games. 8A. The Steelers got 18 first downs and 18 points. The Ravens got 16 first downs and 16 scores. 9. The Steelers coach, Mike Tomlin, sums up the situation for his 8-2 team with this statement: "I love Boz, man. He keeps winning Player of the Week on special teams, and I'm sick of it. This week, he most likely won Player of the Week once again. It reminds us of our imperfections, but he deserves it. It serves as a reminder of the tasks at hand. But I'm grateful that he's on our squad, dude." 10. Baltimore's offense scored its fewest points of the season and had its fewest yards, 329, despite starting the game with stats that, at least, compared favorably to the top units in league history. 11. Would Jackson lose his 3rd league MVP title to Pittsburgh after another lackluster showing? Keep an eye out. 12. Despite our want to consider the Pittsburgh-Baltimore rivalry the NFL's most significant in the last 15 years, it is essential to remember that the Steelers have won 8 of the previous 9 encounters. 13. The amount of penalties the Tennessee Titans, prone to mistakes, incurred in their 23-13 defeat to the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday. Before almost tripling that rate, the Titans were among the league leaders going into the contest with an average of 7.7 flags per game. 14. Bikes WR. Even though Justin Jefferson didn't have a solid game, his 81 receiving yards earned him 6,811 for his career, which was the most ever by a player in his first 5 seasons. Jets still has 7 games left to surpass that total. 15. Speaking of Jets, or at least inferior models, the New York Jets were supposed to have one of the league's finest defenses, if not the best, in 2024. However, since previous coach Robert Saleh was fired abruptly after Week 5, the team has given up at least 23 points in 5 of their 6 games. 16. The Indianapolis Colts made a last-minute switch to quarterback Anthony Richardson. In addition to keeping Indianapolis' postseason chances alive with a 28-27 victory, his 4-yard touchdown run in the last minute after being benched for 2 games may have officially staked Gang Green. In addition to matching his career high by accounting for 3 touchdowns, 1 passing, 2 running, Richardson's passer rating of 106.5 on Sunday was his greatest in an NFL game. Richardson tried at least 15 throws throughout the game, and his most significant completion percentage was 66.7%. 17. The infamous Green Bay Packers were defeated mainly by the Chicago Bears' new offense, which newly promoted coordinator Thomas Brown now leads. The Bears recorded more yards, 391 to 366, and first downs, 23 to 19, had a much better time of possession, nearly 12 minutes, and didn't turn the ball over. Green Bay did once. However, the fact that the Packers scored more points in a 20-19 victory and blocked more game-winning field goal tries will be resented by the people of Windy City. 18. With wins in the last 11 games, the Pack's record in the league's most illustrious rivalry grew to 108-95-6, the longest run in the series history. 19. By defeating the San Francisco 49ers 20-17 in Silicon Valley, the Seattle Seahawks surprised the club they had grown to despise the most in recent years. This officially puts the Niners in last place in the NFC West. 20. San Francisco, who are in the basement, is just 1 game ahead of the idle Arizona Cardinals, 6-4, who are still in first place in the division. 21. In this day of equality, the Detroit Lions' 52-6 thumping of the Jacksonville Jaguars is about as terrible a beating as you'll witness in the NFL. In the Jags' 30-year existence, it was the worst loss. 22. The Lions outscored Jacksonville by 475 yards. Detroit's first 7 drives ended in touchdowns. 23. The Lions, founded as the Portsmouth Spartans in 1930, are now 9-1 and have yet to start this well since going 10-0 in 1934, their first season in Detroit. 24. The league record for how many straight games the current NFC leaders have scored at least 1 running touchdown. When playing Jacksonville, the Lions had 3. 25. Note to Lions wide receiver Jameson Williams: if you keep celebrating like Marshawn Lynch, the NFL will ultimately cut your highlights, even if it didn't on Sunday. 25A. That would be unfortunate since all 7 of Williams' regular season touchdowns have come from more than 30 yards, and his scoring is always thunderbolts. 26. After completing 24 of 29 passes for 412 yards and 4 touchdowns against the Jaguars, Detroit quarterback Jared Goff had a passer rating 158.3. It was Goff's 3rd time surpassing 150.0 in the last 7 games, but it was just his 2nd perfect rating in his 9-year career. 27. Don't discount Las Vegas Raiders tight end Brock Bowers just yet, even if it appears certain that Washington Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels will win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Following a 13-grab, 126-yard performance on Sunday in Miami, he now leads all first-year players with 70 receptions for 706 yards. 27A. The 13 receptions of Bowers for a rookie tight end Sunday is a 1-game record. 28. Nevertheless, Bowers wasn't the most influential player at this position on the same field on Sunday. Miami won again and kept regaining ground on the playoff picture thanks to a career-high 6 receptions, 101 yards, and 2 touchdowns from Dolphins wide receiver Jonnu Smith. 29. Don't discount Denver Broncos quarterback Bo Nix just yet, even if it appears certain that Washington Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels will win Offensive Rookie of the Year. For the first time this season, Nix surpassed 300 passing yards and tossed 4 touchdowns in an NFL game during Sunday's 38-6 rout of the NFC South leading Atlanta Falcons. Although Nix, the 6th quarterback selected in this year's first round, lacks Daniels' skill, he might make an equally significant impression as a rookie, given that Denver and Washington are now running for the wild card. 30. Will the New Orleans Saints QB, RB, FBT, and KR get an NFC Offensive Player of the Week award? Taysom Hill, after he scored 3 touchdowns and amassed 188 yards from scrimmage on 15 touches in a 35-14 thumping of the Cleveland Browns? He even returned a 42-yard kickoff. 30A, or should we hold Hill accountable for his fumble and interception? 31. In any case, the Saints have quietly risen back up the NFC South rankings and are currently 2-0 after sacking head coach Dennis Allen. 32. This week's uniform note: the Cincinnati Bengals are committing to the orange trousers they introduced this season. They don them with white jerseys and, for the first time on Sunday night. When he started the Bengals in 1968, team founder Paul Brown purposefully imitated the Browns' jerseys, and his son, current owner Mike Brown, seems to be carrying on that tradition.